Hi, and welcome to The Curling Show, the podcast that brings you interviews with the sport's top athletes and the people who shape the game. Brought to you by Fit to Curl, a sport-specific guide to training for the world's greatest game by Olympic gold medalist Team Martin third, and in just a few days, the Alberta third, John Morris, with a bit of help from me, Dean Gemmell. The book has programs for every level of curler and every level of current fitness. Following one of them should help you feel better, sweep better, and make a few more shots. Get your copy at fittocurl.com or pick one up at your favorite pro shop. She's the third on Team Amber Holland or Team Saskatchewan, or wait, the third on Team Canada. Kim Schneider, welcome to The Curling Show.
Thank you very much.
I guess you like the sound of that. First of all, you're not home yet, though. How much longer? How much longer before you're allowed to leave the Maritimes?
We leave tomorrow morning, bright and early at 6 o'clock, and we arrive home not till 7.
So you're the last team to get out of town, I think, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
and is it true that you're staying at Russ Howard's home?
Yeah, we are. Russ Howard was nice enough to take us into his home, and they've been putting us up, so we've been joking that we're staying at the Russ Howard Inn.
Are you talking curling and representing Canada and those kind of things?
Pardon?
Are you talking curling and representing Canada at a World Championship?
Yeah, we actually rewatched our curling game with him last night, so that was a lot of fun to hear some extra comments on top of his live commentating.
Did you critique his comments that were on air?
No, we didn't.
You didn't?
No, we liked what he had to say. We discussed a few of the shots that we could have called differently. Not that the shots we called were always wrong, but there's always two options. So we had some good discussions for sure.
That's interesting. Hey,
yeah.
Second, congratulations on the win, though. It was a terrific game.
Thank you.
A great game for women's curling, I think. And was there any chance, any time before the last shot of Jennifer's came to rest, was there any time in that game you thought you were actually going to win?
Well, I don't think that you ever think that you're going to lose. We just tried to focus on our performance and our execution. And when Amber threw her last shot, all we said was, at least we were making her throw her last shot. That's what you can ask for in a curling game. And so we just watched her rock come down and held her breath a little, and she rolled too far.
Were you surprised it sprung off like it did? She was.
Yeah, a little bit. I hadn't even seen her reaction. I was so busy yelling at Amber to sweep the roll, but I thought she was going to throw a little less weight than she did, and I thought the angle was perfect and that she was going to make the shot for sure. So we were a little bit surprised, but she threw more weight than I expected to come down.
Yeah, I think that was the key. Earlier in the game, I thought she should have thrown more weight on that when she was trying to hit half a rock. Do you remember that shot?
Yeah, when she could have had us looking at three behind all those guys.
Looked like she could have had a 3 right back, and she didn't throw much weight at that, and I thought she was going to throw a lot right there.
Yeah, she said she didn't want to lose all the rocks there, and she didn't want to play for the blank, I guess. But, yeah, I guess she thought it had curled up enough and that it would just automatically stick, but
right.
It did roll off a bit.
Hey, have you pondered the difference between first and second since you won? It's a big one.
No, I don't think we really have pondered it at all.
You haven't?
We're just happy. We're just happy that it worked out the way it did, yeah.
Now, your team's been plugging along for a while. You play a lot on tour. You've had good results on tour. You won a Players' Championship in 2008.
Yeah.
But for a lot of more casual curling fans, the first time they saw you was last year at the Scotties. And even this year, I think you were probably a little underestimated by members of the media, including me, probably. I picked Holland Flybrink for the final. But have you felt underestimated over all those years?
No, coming in, our team's been together for 6 years, and the first few years we had to really prove ourselves out there, and I think our fellow curlers have a lot of respect for our team. We've played so much against them. We don't really look at any of that. We just try to focus on our own team, and we know what we have to do to work well as a team, and that's what we try to focus on instead of getting caught up in what everyone else is feeling.
Your first trip to the Scotties was last year. You went 6-5. You had a bit of a misery week yourself, one of those weeks that sometimes sneaks up on a good player. What did you take away from that for this year?
I just really took away focusing on what I needed to do to work on my performance. I worked a lot with our sports psychologist over the summer to just really try to get into a different mindset and how to deal with a lot of those extra stresses that come up in a long week like that. So we just approached our season a little differently, just focusing each on how to perform in our own position as opposed to the whole team performance. And I think each of us just really stepped up in our positions, which helped as the whole team performance.
How different is the Scotties? I mean, I know it's different, but the Scotties versus, say, a big spiel like the Players' Championship, which is shorter and not a round robin. How different is the Scotties?
It's definitely a lot different. The whole 11-day event is definitely tiring, and you have sometimes 3 and 4 games back-to-back, which can be pretty tiring, whereas when you're at a regular bonspiel, you usually have 1 game on, 1 or 2 draws off, and then another game. And just all the added things, the signing of autographs and up close and personals and trying to get out to see some fans and stuff. It's definitely a lot tiring, and your whole province is kind of relying on you and waiting to see how you do. So it definitely is different than just a bonspiel, but it's such a great event and such a great experience that you just try to go in with a positive attitude and try to have the most fun you can and hope it works out.
And now you get to go back next year.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really looking forward to that. And in Red Deer, it'll be nice. We should get a lot of Saskatchewan people out there.
Hey, this is your team's moment, but there was a storyline from the Scotties that's unavoidable, and that's the Jennifer Jones-Cathy O rivalry in the big game when between Cathy O and Jennifer. What are your thoughts on all that?
I think they're probably all glad that it's kind of over. I think that it was tough for both of them, but it was great to see Cathy O back there. She did deserve the right to be there, and it was nice to see her get to play. Her week was probably a little more disappointing than she wanted, but it was great to see her have such a great game against them, and yeah, it's probably time for it to move on, and the focus is gone now. And
Brian Mudrick on Twitter said that the crowd during the final was 85% for you and 15% for Team Canada, Jennifer Jones. That sort of should be neutral territory in the Maritimes. Do you think Jennifer underestimated sort of, her public relations efforts last year?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think people are always ready for a change, and we had a lot of support right from the beginning of the week. And after PEI lost out, everyone said they cheer for green, and we were the next green team, so they jumped on board. So it was really great to have the support out there. It's always nice to hear a loud crowd. It almost felt like you were playing at home.
You're claiming it's a color thing. It was just they were just cheering for a green team.
A lot of people said we're just cheering for the green team once PEI lost out. So I'm not too sure if that's what it was, or if they were just ready for change, or people like to see everyone have success, and yeah, we were happy to have the extra fan support for sure.
You mentioned being happy for Cathy O, and during the game, I understand Kelly Scott actually high-fived Cathy during the game with Jennifer. Did that surprise you?
I'm not too sure. I didn't know about that.
That's what I heard. That's what was reported.
Yeah, we were off that draw, so we were out for a family dinner, and we just caught the last few ends on TV. But yeah, that's interesting.
Well, yeah, it was a great game. It was great for curling.
I think,
it was. Whatever. I hope everybody can move on. I think, but at the same time, I think those rivalries are good. So I don't want people to move on too quickly. But
yeah, absolutely. They're always going to be there in sport for sure, but. They both have their own teams now, so it's good that it can move on a little bit and let them both move on and develop whichever direction they want to go with the game.
Do you think all the attention on that might have helped you and maybe other teams? It would sort of allow you to fly under the radar a little bit, especially early in the week?
Yeah, it probably did. Having the focus be on somebody else and not on the underdogs probably does take a little bit off, but we didn't really consider ourselves an underdog. We were there last year and maybe a bit of an underdog, but we earned our spot back there this year. Going through Saskatchewan's a tough province, and we knew we had the tools to put a good week together, and so we just had to go focus on ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say your team definitely wasn't an underdog team to people who follow the game. So I wasn't surprised to see you in the mix at all, and wasn't surprised to see you win. Hey, last thing on teams and changing players. Mark Nichols is announced just before the Brier here that he won't play next year. Did that surprise you? Did Russ offer any insight on that?
No, we never really talked about that. I was very surprised, but it's tough to probably play out in Newfoundland and have to travel so much, and if he's looking to move on and start a family and stuff, it's probably a bit tough. It's easier for us to get to a lot of spiels being kind of central, but from out there you have to dedicate a lot of extra time, and I know that Brad has a pretty hectic schedule, so whether or not Mark quits forever or is just going to take a bit of time off, it's too bad because he's a really great player, so I hope that eventually he comes back to it.
I'm not really surprised, but the timing is a little curious, actually, because I mean, right
I was shocked. I just heard about it.
Yeah, it's sort of a tacit
it'll be
statement
interesting
that he doesn't think they'll win the Brier. I think because I mean, if they won the Brier and maybe the Worlds, I think he'd have to reconsider, wouldn't he?
Yeah, you might, but I guess the difference with men is they don't come back as Team Canada, right?
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, they still have the funding and they still have the chance to go to Continental Cup and events like that, but they don't go back to the Brier as Team Canada. So I guess after you represent as Team Canada, even if they go to the Worlds, then he could still kind of call it quits at the end of April.
What do you think the Brier could use? Do you think the Brier could use a Team Canada?
Yeah, I think it's good probably for marketing and everything, and it's nice for the provinces like Alberta to get some of those other great reps out that Martin kind of dominates. And I mean, look at Cooey last year; he made it out of his province and went on to win the World. So I think it's great to give more great teams an opportunity to get there and prove themselves for sure.
Yeah, I'm not so sure, but I can see both sides of that argument. I hesitate to mess with the Brier because it works, but we'll see. All right, Kim, we finish with the run back. I give you a topic, and you give me your thoughts in 1 to 3 words.
Sure.
The breakup of Team Cheryl Bernard.
I was surprised by that.
Well, were you? I wasn't surprised. You were surprised. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I figured they didn't have a whole lot left in the tank, but
yeah.
We'll see who Cheryl teams with next year. I mean, I could see Cheryl playing with a young front end and being reinvigorated and everything else. So,
yeah.
The Randy Furby Ryan Fry exchange of words.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit disrespectful. Furby's a great player. Thought he deserved a bit more credit.
Than Ryan's blistering email he sent to Al Cameron?
Yeah, I don't think that kind of stuff needs to get out to the media.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, it was certainly, it was pretty strong anyways, and Randy's response was also strong, so there you go.
Yeah, both sides were.
How about the future of Muammar Gaddafi?
The future of what, sorry?
Muammar Gaddafi.
I have no idea.
I love those curlers who've been in the bubble for 11 days. You have no idea what's going on in the world.
No, I sure don't.
After you hang up the phone here, go buy a newspaper. And
yeah, I'll have to.
You've got to reacquaint yourself with the outside world. Eventually you're going to have to leave the Howard household.
Yeah, might have to.
Curling games without timeouts.
I think it's a bit of a struggle. I think having the coach's input is a big deal, and I think it really has a big impact on some.
You know, I think
that we should go back to. I think we should go back to having the 1 minute timeout, and if it's a time issue, then we should just give them like 20 seconds to get out there and then start the 1 minute timeout so that it doesn't affect the clock. But
right.
I think that we should still be able to access our coach with a 1 minute timeout, not just let the clock keep running.
Of course, your coach came out, suggested a call, and you went with Amber. Amber went with another call.
Yeah, we just wanted to hear the input, but the tap was a bit of a tough shot because if you don't tap it perfectly, she might have just drawn around and taken all shots away from us. So
right.
We just wanted to hear what the thoughts were, but both shots could have been made and both shots could have left us an opportunity to win, but Amber just had it in her gut to play the draw. She had just thrown it. So
maybe that's the way to
what
go
we
with
meant with.
coaches. You bring them out to reinforce your own intelligence.
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
Just bring them out and say, oh, what a dumb idea. We're brilliant. Let's play this. I actually like this call, to be honest. But how about favorite color to wear on the ice, red or green?
Well, I'm excited to wear red, but I think I'll still have some green underneath.
Yeah, there you go. And finally, fake Kevin Martin on Twitter.
I have no idea.
You have no idea again, do you?
Maybe he can come on Twitter, and our fifth player joined Twitter at the Scotties, so maybe they can Twitter together.
We'll get your fifth to follow fake Kevin Martin because it's pretty funny.
I'll tell her all about it.
I don't know who it is, but it's pretty damn funny.
All right, I'll tell her to find fake Kevin Martin on Twitter.
All right, Kim, I give everybody a chance to name their sponsors on this show. Now you're Team Canada, but who's been supporting your team all year?
We have quite a few sponsors. We have Annie Soft, Seedmaster, Western Pizza in Regina, and we also have Pro Certified Auto, and I'm probably missing a couple. Poulin's Pest Control, and
I should have warned you
that's
before.
all that we had this year. Yeah, no, that's okay.
All right, well,
those are
good for them and good for you guys. You had a great run. Like I said, it was a terrific final for women's curling. I've criticized women's curling in the past, but I thought that game was just terrific. So good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck in Denmark.
Thank you very much.
That's Kim Schneider on The Curling Show, a conversation that we had 2 days after her team captured the Canadian Women's Championship at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. No matter what your goal is when it comes to curling, Scotties titles, World Championships, or the non-Blu-ray DVD player that the winning team gets at your club's season-ending spiel, pick up a copy of Fit to Curl by John Morris and start following a training program. You can buy the book at fittocurl.com and at Better Curling Pro Shops. As always, thanks for listening. Here's some pudding.